Howdy, and welcome back to Where It's At, the show where I listen to all of the new music that came out in the past 2 months so you don't have to. Let's not waste any time and get into some of my favorite projects that came out in March and April of 2023. Obviously, I can't listen to everything, and I will admit that there was a decent chunk of music that I was not able to get around to this time, but if anything, that should make the end of the year videos even more exciting to see what I missed out on and what I came back around on. If I did miss something important, you can make sure to leave that in the comment section below, and maybe I'll debate you by saying that I didn't like that project at all. Who knows? Go down, start a conversation, and I will respond. As always, this list is in alphabetical order and not in the order of how much I enjoyed each record. Alright, let's get into things, starting with Only Constant by Gel. What a great record to start off with, as this LP is shot out of a cannon the second you hit play. Gel takes the current state of hardcore and pushes the envelope just enough to bang out some riveting tracks. It's not like a future look at hardcore, but instead it embraces the history of the genre and pulls it into a modern age. And clocking in at 16 minutes, this record is short and to the point. If you're into punk and are looking for something a tad bit heavier, then I suggest turning to Only Constant. Gel is going to rule the hardcore world soon, so don't let the bandwagon leave without you. Another killer hardcore release comes in the form of We're Still Here by the Hers Collective. This collaborative project came out swinging this time, putting out some of their most concise and hard-hitting tracks to date. The features here are all spectacular, but every single time that I hear somebody else singing on a Hers Collective track, I am just reminded of the sheer power that they possess. And that's why they're able to score so many huge features on this project, including members of My Chemical Romance, Garbage, Converge, La Dispute, Soul Glow, Circa Survive, Touche Amore, Screaming Females, and that list goes on and on. Do not skip out on this, because this is without a doubt their most accessible release thus far. Metalcore is alive and well with this new Jesus Piece record, So Unknown. Chock full of interesting and dynamic twists and turns, this is a ripper all the way through. As much as it hurt me to see frontman Aaron leave the band Nothing, seeing what he's done in the meantime definitely makes up for it. One of the main reasons that I love this record is the fact that the production is not overdone. It allows the mix to kind of seep in and permeate throughout each song. I have not had a chance to listen to this record all that much yet, but once I get my vinyl copy in, I can assure you I will be spinning this a lot. Next up, we have the new joint LP between JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown, titled Scaring the Hose Volume 1. This was highly anticipated, and boy did it live up to the hype. The beat switches and eclectic production helped this record sound singular, being a constant reminder that JPEG and Danny are them. I can't even think of a bad song on this thing, and with each new re-listen, I'm discovering something new hidden in the mix. Scaring the Hose Volume 1 is a meaty album that will leave you satisfied and full. Let's take a couple of seconds to talk about this new Liquid Mike album, Self-Titled. This kind of popped up out of nowhere, and a bunch of Twitter folk were talking about it, so I caved and gave it a listen. And I'm so glad that I did, because this is some of the best emo that I've heard in such a long time that I wouldn't necessarily consider to be fifth wave emo. The vibes are immaculate, the recordings are DIY as hell, and the lyrics are oh so catchy. I'd be hard pressed to find out that there's not at least one song on here that you can't dig. I really hope this newfound internet fame will help propel Liquid Mike into the scene even more, so go help him out by giving this record a spin. Oh, and anybody out there who ended up getting their hands on the first run of cassettes, hit me up and let's make a deal. Next up is Post American by MS Paint. All I'm gonna say about this one is that it is a front runner for Album of the Year for me. The mix of hardcore and synths gives this LP a unique identity. The charisma and vocal performances are off the freaking charts. Ian from Military Gun bodied the production on this thing and even had a killer feature on Delete It. Yeah, this is gonna be an album that I talk about for a long time to come, so I will save my breath until the next time that I get the opportunity to gush about this album. Now, here's a weird one. It's Devil Music by Portrayal of Guilt. This came out quickly, and if I didn't get a vinyl pre-order notification about it, then I might have missed it entirely. It's not my favorite on this list, but I wanted to mention it simply because of how weird it is. I mean, it is Portrayal of Guilt, so you're still getting brutal riffs, percussion, and vocals, but it's the second half of the album that really piques my interest. The best way to describe the story-driven B-side is to imagine if the kid in your high school who won Most Likely to Work at Hot Topic decided to write a Broadway musical. Yeah, it's fucking weird. But it's also pretty good too, so give it a shot if any of the dumb words that I'm saying right now resonate with you. Another one that would have slipped right by me if not for hate Luke856 talking about them on Twitter. That would be Madison and Floral by Sign Language. Following the handbook in the Title Fight School of Rock, this thing sounds freaking fantastic. It's passionate and emotional, with every vocal belted out, sounding like it could be their last. The guitar tones are reminiscent of Cloakroom and Nothing, so you do get a bit of shoegaze in this very punk and emo-filled record. I've got a feeling that Sign Language could be blowing up soon, so don't be the loser who gets left behind. I've talked a lot about punk in this video, so let's change things up just a little bit by talking about country. Just kidding, we're talking about Rat Saw God by Wednesday, which does have some country tendencies, but there is still a permanent stain of punk all over this thing. I didn't think I'd be hopping on the bandwagon as much as I have, but god damn it, there is no denying how great this LP is. The songwriting is god tier, the performances across the board are stunning, and the tunes themselves will stick to you like glue. It's an eclectic mix of sounds ranging from post-hardcore to indie folk, always keeping you on your toes. Give this a spin right now or regret it forever. The last full-length album I would like to talk about is A New Tomorrow by Zulu. I've been following this power violence group for a couple of years now at this point, and I was over the moon when they announced their debut. But when I heard it for the first time, I couldn't believe how good it is. The stories told here are unlike so many of the others that we hear in hardcore all the time. Zulu depict their experiences as Black Americans living in the police state that is this country, along with a multitude of other issues that stem from racism in America. And Zulu tackles each topic like an edge rusher hitting a quarterback from behind. A New Tomorrow is beyond powerful, and the energy it exudes is palpable. Now let's get into two EPs rather quickly as we start off with Scow's Psychic Dance Routine. Taking a sharp left turn with their musical direction, this thing is kind of all over the place, but by branching out and trying new sounds, Scow discovers what works for them and what doesn't. Luckily for them, this EP does work pretty darn well. I'm not saying every attempt here is a home run, but at the very least you won't be ripping your headphones out of your ears in disgust. If you liked How Flowers Grow, then I definitely recommend checking this project out. And if you don't know who Scow is, you better be putting on this EP as soon as this video ends. Finally, let's close this video out by talking about the estate sale version of Tyler the Creator's Call Me If You Get Lost. Yes, I understand this is a deluxe album, but I'm only going to be talking about the new songs, so that basically counts as an EP. These demos or Lucy's or whatever you want to call them are all pretty damn good. Leave it to Tyler to go out and get some amazing features only to add them as bonus tracks in the deluxe version. More than anything, it's nice to get an extra few songs from this era in Tyler's discography. Also, not even gonna lie, I kinda think Heaven to Me is one of Tyler's best songs now. Debate amongst yourselves in the comment sections about that take. Unfortunately, the estate sale makes me think that we won't be getting a new Tyler album for a little bit, but until then, these songs will definitely help tie me over. And that will conclude this edition of Where It's At. Links to all the albums and EPs talked about here will be located in the video description box below. Like I said at the top of the video, you can go down to the comments section to let me know if I missed out on some of your favorite albums or EPs that came out in the last 2 months. As you can tell, I always love talking music, so leave a comment and I will be sure to get back to you. Be sure to subscribe to catch videos just like this every other month, along with a show called So You're Interested In, where I go through an artist's discography and break it down so I can give you the best starting point in order to get into them. And I also do a show called Stacks of Wax, where I go through my record collection A through Z to show off some of the cool pieces of vinyl that I own. And yeah, that's it. I just gotta do my regular spiel to go out and support your local record store if you are able to, along with the local artists in your area. And, well, until I see you next time, happy listening.